Meta, the company behind Facebook and Instagram, have announced it will be ending its 2-year suspension of Donald Trump's accounts. The then US president was indefinitely suspended from the social media platforms after the Capitol riots, of course, in 2021. Nick Clegg, Meta's president of global affairs, said the public should be able to hear what their politicians are saying. What do you think of this? 030 30 80 55 55. Let's speak to the writer and commentator Emma Wolf. Emma, good morning to you.
Good morning, Vinny.
And the economist and Trump supporter Jonathan Davies. Good morning to you, Jonathan.
Good morning.
I assume, Jonathan, you welcome the removal of this ban.
That's far too simplistic. It's incredibly hypocritical that socialist politician Clegg, who now runs what people can see and hear on Facebook and Instagram, etc., saying we should be able to see what politicians say. Well, if that were the case, why was Trump censored for 2 years? Never mind Trump, it's general. Why all these censoring by these social media companies? It's absolutely outlandish.
Well, Twitter had banned the former president, following that Capitol riot, 6th of January 2021, saying he had broke the rules on glorification of violence. So if a glorification of violence, it's not for me to say what he did or did not do, but that's what Twitter were saying, for example. Is that something would you encourage a politician or indeed anyone to do that?
Of course not. And you're taking it at face value that that's what actually happened. Whereas the other people would say that that's their misinterpretation in order to achieve their objective of censoring people they don't want on the internet.
Emma Wolf?
Well, no, what Meta actually said was, due to the risk of the incitement of violence, that they would stick by their decision, and they've now decided that what Nick Clegg said. What Nick Clegg said is the suspension was an extraordinary decision taken in extraordinary circumstances, and their review has now found that he no longer poses a risk. I mean, I don't think that we particularly want Trump back on Facebook or Instagram.
But how can that threat or concern really have changed that much, Emma? Yes, he's not the president anymore, but if they genuinely believe the danger or risk behind what was or wasn't said, how has that changed?
Well, look, Vinny, it was a very, very different context. We're talking about the context of the riots on Capitol Hill. We are talking about that back in 2021. He is now far less relevant, isn't he? He is far less, he's trying to make his comeback, whether or not that will lead to anything. But he's far less relevant and far less able to incite violence in that way. So I suppose they feel that he doesn't have something.
And I guess he would no doubt disagree with any suggestion that that's what he was trying to do. He wasn't trying to incite violence, but an interpretation is everything, Jonathan. Jonathan, people get banned from social media platforms all the time. What makes Trump any different?
You're making the assumption that he's different. Apart from anything, look, you guys are focusing on the wrong thing. This is what the BBC does. The focus should be on censoring free speech. This is the issue. The
issue is also, according to Meta, and I don't necessarily agree with it, the issue is they felt that he posed a serious risk to public safety. That's not me saying that. That's what they were saying. They were saying that he was going to, due to the risk of the further incitement of violence. That is what they're talking about.
And if you believe what Nick Clegg and Facebook, which you call Meta now, of course, but it still is Facebook really, if you believe what they say, then I'll tell you what, I've got a bridge to sell you.
So where do we go from here, Jonathan Davies? What
we do is we get the social media companies and we tell them that they must not censor free speech.
On any circumstance, Jonathan, do you have a red line there at all?
Yes. When there is you need to take people to task, you need to investigate absolutely, and you need to not be subjective in your views as to who should be allowed on the social media. It should be independent panels, not people, politicians like Nick Clegg, running the show.
Emma Wolf, last word on this.
Okay, look, I think that actually, if you are the people that support Trump, the people who are going to listen to what he says, whether it's on Truth Social, his new platform, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, they will be supporting him wherever he is. They will follow him wherever he is, tweeting his nonsense. So it really, really doesn't matter.
Okay. Emma Wolf and Jonathan Davies, thank you very much.